Hey guys, welcome to our channel. I'm Bria.
And I'm Sid.
And today we are talking about 3 tips on choosing a partner as a Christian. So it's definitely different in the dating world. Growing up in high school and middle school, dating and liking different people when you're a Christian, because a lot of the times we are abstinent, or we don't just like to just date around. We like to be precise. And then when you get older, when you're trying to choose a spouse, it's definitely a lot different, and it's not the same as just dating just to date or dating for fun. So first, these are tips on when you're dating intentionally for marriage. So when you're getting older and you're thinking about settling down, choosing a spouse, I'm not putting an age cap on that, because I never wanted to date just to date. I always wanted to date for marriage, with the intent of seeing a future with somebody. So these are tips for people who have the intent, choosing a partner that they want longevity with and they want to spend the rest of their life with, and they can see a future with. All right, so our first tip is pray to God for guidance and wisdom.
So praying for So praying for guidance and wisdom, obviously if you're trying to look for a partner that God wants for you, you obviously need to pray to him to help him show you who the person is that he wants you to be with. Because a lot of times we'll assume what God wants for us, but it's definitely not the case. And something that I've learned getting into this relationship with Bria is not really asking for signs. Because I know a lot of times, like, a lot of people could just judge their signs based on what they want. So for me, I would pray and I'd be like, whatever you want to happen, ultimately, like, put my feelings in the right place and get my attention on things that you want me to pay attention to. So I think praying for wisdom and God's guidance is really important. Along with that is just trusting God, because a lot of times, like, we'll pray and like weird things will happen. It's all part of God's plan, but us as humans, it's kind of hard to go through those weird times, those hard times. But through all that, you just have to trust God and trust what he has planned for you, and then everything will turn out good.
Yeah, I definitely just think people overlook that step, just the praying step initially before even you want to be in a relationship, because God might have somebody that you might not expect, you might not want at that time, or you might not have expected to have at that time, or just you don't think about praying for your partner beforehand, before you actually have a partner. So I, in the past, have just jumped into relationships, thought they were cute, thought that this could work out, whatever. I've jumped into relationships and 100% of them have not worked out. So definitely just praying for that relationship beforehand. So God, let me know if this is something that you want me to do, if this is something that you want me to be in. Show me, give me guidance if this is the person that I should start dating, or this is the person I should be giving my interest to and giving my attention and time to.
Our second tip is don't force your own agenda or timeline. I think that's very important, because a lot of times people will pray to God to be like, oh, your will be done and stuff like that, in finding a partner, just in anything. And we always want our agenda to be put out, and when what we want isn't happening, we start blaming God that bad things are happening or not what we want. But if you're praying to God for wisdom and guidance, you have to understand that probably it's not going to be like you planned it to be, but that's all that comes with praying for that guidance and trusting him that his ways are higher than ours and his plans are greater than ours. So we just need to trust him, and even if our agenda isn't fulfilled, that we have to be okay with that.
That's the most important thing, I think, because I very ironically, I was anti-male this whole time before I got with Sydney. I was anti-male. I was like, when I'm 22, I'll start looking for a husband. Like, I don't need to worry about that now. Like, if someone comes along, that's great, but like, I don't want to have anything to do with males right now. I'm not looking for somebody, blah, 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 blah. But God is like, listen, my lovely child, I have a whole different plan for you. You don't know what you need. So just trust in God that his timing is perfect, and be open to the possibility of different things happening, not at a time that you expected, because this literally just fell into my lap. And it's exactly what I needed and exactly what I asked God for. I just wasn't expecting it, and I wasn't ready for it in my timeline. So the way I thought things should go, I definitely wasn't expecting that should happen, but it did, and I couldn't be more grateful. Okay, our third and final tip is put away your biases. So this was a big thing for me. Definitely put away your biases. So what you think you want, might not necessarily be what you actually need. So you might think you want a 6'3" tall, dark, and handsome man, but God really has a 5'10" man who will treat you right, because the 6'3" man might not be there when you are crying your eyeballs out at 3 o'clock in the morning and you need someone to hold you and support you. So that was a big thing for me, because you know, a lot of people have in their mind the type of guy they're gonna marry, the type of girl they're gonna marry, the type of person that they're supposed to be with, what they want. I want somebody who does this, I want somebody who does that. But what you want may not be what you need, and God knows what you need above all. So definitely just putting away your biases and letting God do his thing, because I thought I needed some type of certain, I mean, Cindy is all that in a bag of chips, thank you very much. I'll take him any day. But I definitely didn't envision somebody like him when I thought that I would end up with somebody, when I would marry somebody. I didn't think it'd be something like him, but I cannot be more grateful, because he's exactly what I needed, and God put that in my life at the exact right time. So just trust him and put away your biases and make sure that you know that God knows best.
Yeah, I think a big thing in that is, I know a lot of people, and it's something big in society, is a bias on race. That's crazy. I don't understand how, but I think a lot of times, and I said this in a podcast with our youth pastor, go check that out. I'll link it below. It was a really good podcast. If you want to see how we got together and stuff like that, go check it out. But anyway, I said in the podcast that sometimes a lot of blessings that God wants to give us are put on hold because we have biases and stuff like that. And like the analogy that I made, like with me and Bria, is like, God would have been withholding a really big blessing from me, or I would have been withholding it from myself if I had looked at Bria's color and said, oh, she's black, I'm white. I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, I think bias in anything, bias in personality and all that, because she's a very fiery person and I'm not used to fiery people. But if I were to use that as a bias and be like, ah, she's too hyper for me or something like that, would have been missing out on this amazing relationship that we're in. So I think leaving out biases and having a completely open mind going into it is very important, and that goes along with trusting God, because I mean, even though you think you know what you want, God knows what you need.
Exactly.
And even though I didn't think I wanted a very fiery person, outgoing and crazy like this one,
we complement each other.
Yeah, God knows what we needed. So when she's all fiery and she needs to get toned down, I'm just here chill and mellow. Or when I'm too chill and mellow, we need to have a fun time, she's one to always bring it up. So it balances good. God knows exactly what you need. So don't get stressed out over it. That's a really big thing too. Yeah. I know we only said 3 points, but another one, don't stress. Do not stress. God's got you. If God brings you together and you really believe through prayer and stuff that this is the person, don't stress about it. Everything's gonna be fine.
And everything is different for every person. So God might show one person in one way and you might be looking for that same way, but God might be trying to show you in a whole different way. So make sure that you try to develop a relationship with God, that you are able to know his signs, know when he's speaking to you, know when he's trying to talk to you, because things that happen for other people may not happen for you. So you got to make sure that your relationship with God is tight, and that you are really genuinely trying to seek his voice and seek his guidance. But yeah, definitely, like you will miss out on some things when you have your biases set, because you know, like you might be like, oh, like I'm into music, so oh, I need to be with a musician, like blah 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 blah. Or he might be like, I need someone who's athletic and I need someone who plays soccer, and we totally would have missed each other if that happened. Yeah. And that was something that I was looking forward to in a spouse too, but that's not what I needed. And you don't. I mean, I'm
a pretty good musician. But I'm not as good as her.
I'm raw at soccer. Okay, I'm better than him. Anyways, so those were our top 3 tips on choosing a partner when you are a Christian. So just definitely, the main thing is just try to hear God's voice, you know, and trust him. A lot of the times we can get in our own head because we're overthinkers. So we're like, oh, well, is this person we're supposed to be with? God, did I really hear this sign from God? Are we sure? Like, but just trust, because God always prevails. He always wins. And he knows what's best for you. So if you put your life in his hands, he will come through for you, and you will find your perfect partner that God has for you. Ding!
Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. If you liked, make sure to like, subscribe. If when we get to, I think it was 200 subscribers, we're gonna drop merch. So y'all better start subscribing, because I'm trying to drop this merch. So start subscribing. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.
Bye.